Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Just to give you a quick background of myself, my name is Elma Clark, as Ruth mentioned, and I'm a customer success manager with LinkedIn. I've been a part of lynda.com for over 5 years, and so I'm very passionate about our products and but however, still excited today to introduce you to LinkedIn Learning. I'm going to be covering for today pretty much the upgrade process from lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning and giving you a sneak peek into what LinkedIn Learning will look like. So just cover a few key takeaways. As I mentioned, I'll be covering what the lynda.com upgrade to LinkedIn Learning will look like. What are some of the key differences between both platforms? How you will connect to LinkedIn from LinkedIn Learning, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in a few minutes and what your options are. Also, when you actually go through the upgrade that's scheduled for the 20th, what will happen afterwards? How will you access the new LinkedIn Learning platform? And of course, we'll definitely be giving you a sneak peek into our new LinkedIn Learning platform. We are actually going to be taking questions at the end of the sessions, the second half of the session. So if you have any questions as I'm going through the presentations, as Ruth mentioned, please enter those in the chat, and I will be responding to as many of those questions as we can for today's session. So I'll go ahead and get started. So you're all here excited to hear about the upgrade of lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning. But we first want to say why. Why are we currently going through this upgrade from Lynda to LinkedIn Learning? Well, imagine if you can, lynda.com built on the power of LinkedIn's platform, a platform that most of us are familiar with, a platform that's accessed by over 500 million people. What if we're able to take a product like lynda.com with great quality content and build it on a platform such as LinkedIn? And that's essentially what we're doing. Lynda.com was acquired by LinkedIn over 2 years ago, and the mission for that partnership was to connect learners with a great resource that will allow them to gain the knowledge and skills to empower themselves to learn whatever it is that they want to. So how that's also being done, being a part of the LinkedIn platform, with LinkedIn Learning as the new platform, you'll now be able to have access, and we're now able to leverage all the data analytics that we're able to gain from over 500 million people that are part of the LinkedIn network to learn more about skills, what skills gaps there might be, to learn more about what it is that folks want to learn, and as a result, be able to provide them with the content through Lynda to learn and gain those skills that they need. So say hello to LinkedIn Learning. University of Miami, as I mentioned, will be upgrading from lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning. You will still have access to the great content that you're familiar with in lynda.com. However, with LinkedIn Learning, due to the integration of LinkedIn, you'll be given access to a highly personalized learning experience designed to help you achieve your goals through learning and accessing, again, the same content that you're familiar with. With LinkedIn Learning, you're also going to be introduced to a new and more intuitive interface designed to make it even easier for you to find the relevant content while empowering you to achieve more. So in summary, why does the upgrade matters? As I mentioned, we are transitioning from lynda.com, which is one platform, to a totally new brand new platform. As a result, it requires for everybody's system to be reconfigured, and so it involves migrating users over from one platform over to the new platform. We've also found that with the new platform, that from past learners who have already migrated, that there's actually been an increase in learner engagement. And a lot of that engagement has been because of the connection between the lynda.com content, which is now part of the LinkedIn platform. So what are going to be some of the key differences that you'll notice with the new platform? As I mentioned, the first thing that you'll notice once you log in after the migration is the change in the interface. Very similar to Lynda, however, it's much simpler and much more intuitive. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that once we do our little demo. But a lot more intuitive of an interface that's going to be more engaging and even more social. Some of the new exciting features are around personalization. So we found that for a lot of our Lynda users, even though Lynda was an awesome product, awesome content, and had so much content, that was actually an issue that most clients had, or most of our users had. There is so much content. I can't find the content that I need easily. I'm not even sure what content I should be looking for. So on the new platform, you'll see that there's going to be a lot more personalization where you'll be able to find the most relevant content based on your role or whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Also, custom content. You will be able to actually host or link your own content on the actual platform. So if there's videos or documents that you would like to include or host on the platform, you will be able to take advantage of that. There's also what we call more social curation, meaning that we're able to tell you what's trending in the industry. So if you are, let's say, for example, an instructional designer, we'll be able to recommend content based on what other instructional designers are watching. We'll be able to inform you of what are other folks viewing, how many folks view the courses that you're watching, who exactly is viewing the courses that I'm watching. So there's a lot more social curation and interaction on the product. And finally, but not least, something that a lot of folks have been asking for is an improvement in our search taxonomy. So you'll find that our searching feature is a lot more intelligent, and we'll be able to do a lot more pre-populating and really identifying the content that you're seeking. Another feature that's new in LinkedIn Learning and extremely popular is our Q&A social interaction feature. This feature allows you to actually collaborate and interact with other folks on LinkedIn Learning in a particular course. So as you're looking at my screen here, you'll see that within this course itself, as you're watching it, and if you click on the Q&A tab, you can actually ask questions, interact with others, even with the author. So this feature alerts the author when there's activity happening in their course, and they can hop in and be part of that collaboration. This is a feature that works if your LinkedIn Learning account is connected to your LinkedIn profile, which I'll discuss in more detail. Additionally, what's also new is that now with LinkedIn Learning, you will have access to all of our libraries. Currently, you only have access to our English library, but as you can see here, you will now have access to all of these libraries. And what we call our international libraries will we're constantly adding new content. So currently in our English library, we have over 10,000 courses. In the other languages combined, approximately 4,000. So on that note, you'll notice that the number of courses in each library will vary as our content is created by authors in their native country and native language. So, but again, very exciting, especially for international students who may sometimes want to watch content in their native language. They'll be able to do that now in LinkedIn Learning. So what will remain the same? What will remain the same, which is the core of our product, is our content. You will still have access to the high quality Lynda content. That will not change. One significant thing though, even though the content is going to remain the same, the amount of content that we release will, however, increase. We are currently at the rate of 50 to 60 new courses per week. Strongly suggest that you log in often to see what new content we have released on a weekly basis. As it relates to the upgrade itself, your current data, your usage, the courses that you're watching, and your progress all will migrate over when you activate your new LinkedIn Learning account. So there are no concerns regarding disruption of learning. You don't have to worry about where you were in Lynda once you log into LinkedIn Learning. All that will be migrated over when you activate your account. As it relates to the features and functionalities of the courses and the course pages. You will still have transcripts, exercise files, be able to view on your mobile device. The bookmarking feature is still there. The note-taking feature will still be there. And of course, for IT coding courses, you will still have access to the practice environments. So essentially, as it relates to the upgrade itself, you are still getting the same high quality content and experience that you're using in lynda.com with just a lot more improvements. So just to point that out for you. So I mentioned earlier about connecting to your LinkedIn profile. And what do I mean by that? Well, when the upgrade is completed, you will be given the option to activate your account and also connect to your LinkedIn profile. I mentioned earlier about personalization and making recommendations based on recommending courses based on your business role or your title or certain skill sets. The way we're able to do that is if you connect your LinkedIn Learning account to your LinkedIn profile, you'll be able to take advantage of that particular feature. So as you go through the activation process after the migration, you'll be prompted to connect to your LinkedIn profile, and I will walk you through what that looks like. That being said, you are not required to connect to your LinkedIn profile. And I believe the University of Miami is leaning more towards not necessarily connecting to your profile. So again, connect to your profile only if you feel like you'd like to take advantage of some of the benefits that I'm mentioning here, but again, not required at all. That also, if you choose not to connect, but later decide that, you know what, I think I want to take advantage of some of those benefits, I see them, you can easily go up to your menu, and I'll show you where that is, and you will be able to connect to your profile. Likewise, if you decide to connect during the activation process after the migration and decide you no longer want to connect, you'll simply reach out to your LinkedIn Learning administrator and they can disconnect for you. So again, strictly on your decision what you'd like to do, and you have the option to go back and forth with your decision. So what are some of the benefits to connecting to your LinkedIn profile? So again, your LinkedIn Learning, connecting to your LinkedIn profile, personalization, more engagements, more insights into what you need to learn. Because if you're connected to your LinkedIn profile, through algorithms on the back end, we're able to pull in your business title or role, also certain key tag words that are linked to our courses. So for example, our courses are tagged with certain keywords like time management, project manager, communication, certain skills. And if those skills are in your profile and the algorithms pick those skills up, we will then be able to make recommendations for you and make your homepage more personalized. Whereas with Lynda, we as an organization made recommendations for you. In LinkedIn Learning, you'll see that everybody's homepage will be extremely different based on their roles and their skill sets. Also, we're able to leverage the insights from LinkedIn Learning and also make recommendations based on what's happening in the industry. So for example, what's happening in the LinkedIn network? What are other instructional designers watching? What are other students watching? And so on. So a lot more personalization. Additionally, we can help you stay up to date with what other, as I just mentioned, what other members are watching with similar job titles and positions. So again, having that connection into LinkedIn allows us to provide you with these recommendations. Learners that connect, and to give you a summary here, will receive better recommendations. You will receive recommendations based on what other folks are watching, what's trending on LinkedIn Learning, what's trending in LinkedIn, also what editors recommend for you. If you choose not to connect, does not mean that you won't receive any personalization on your homepage at all. It just means that you'll receive less. You will also have the opportunity to tell us what skills you're interested in, what your role is, and based off of that, we will make recommendations. We will also make recommendations as you continue to use the product and as we continue to see the trends in what you typically watch. So again, there will be personalization regardless of which option you choose. You just see that there's a little bit more on if you connect with your LinkedIn profile. And if there are any questions, certainly put those in the chat and we can address them at the end. Additionally, if you connect to your LinkedIn profile, we can reinforce your learning with LinkedIn feed. So for those folks who possibly spend quite a bit of time, we find this a lot with students in LinkedIn, we're actually able to push content into LinkedIn that if you click on, let's say, for example, this video here, we will of course first authenticate you through the University of Miami's single sign-on authentication system through the Active Directory. Once you're authenticated, then we would allow you to watch that course. But again, another way in which you can sort of reinforce your learning with connection through LinkedIn. Now, learners can easily connect to their LinkedIn profile with when connecting to LinkedIn Learning. You can see here, as part of the process, we will be prompting you for your LinkedIn profile information. And in a few minutes, I will actually walk you through the actual flow so you can see what that looks like. If you, however, don't have a LinkedIn profile and you're going through the activation process, you can quickly create one. All you need to provide is your name, email, password, and you can see here location, job title, and company. That is all that's needed to create a profile. And it's also a great way to, especially if you're a student, to really start creating your profile if you haven't yet done so. Now, I've been talking about connecting to LinkedIn, and being that it is actually a social site, I know there's probably some concerns, or you're probably wondering, well, what about my privacy? Are there any possible violations, or who can actually see what I'm doing? Who can possibly see my LinkedIn profile? No concerns there. LinkedIn takes data privacy and security is actually one of our #1 priority. And as an organization, we've gone through extensive steps to make sure that folks' data are secured. So as it relates to who can actually see your LinkedIn profile, no one can. We're simply creating algorithms that are pulling, again, like I said, looking for certain keywords. No one at University of Miami will be able to have access or link into your LinkedIn profile. No, unless they're a connection and they go into LinkedIn and that way, but not through LinkedIn Learning. Through LinkedIn Learning, no one will be able to access your LinkedIn profile at the organization level, or also at LinkedIn itself as part of the LinkedIn Learning. So if you have any additional questions regarding that, certainly we can address that during the Q&A. Also, as a reminder that when you do complete courses in LinkedIn Learning, just like with Linda, you will be able to post those certificates of completion on your LinkedIn profile. If you connect to your LinkedIn profile and later leave the university or move on to a different organization, your certificates of completions will still remain in your LinkedIn profile. That is because they're two individual products and they're just simply connected. They're not merged and they're not fused together. So they're always two separate platforms, two separate products that are just simply connected through your emails. So we've covered what's different, what's new, what to expect. What happens actually as it relates to the upgrade? So with the upgrade, there are a few things that are going to happen and may impact some folks more than others. As it relates to links or URLs, so for example, course links that may exist in a curriculum, or course links that may exist on a site. A lot of those course links will need to be updated because, again, we're moving from one platform to a totally new platform. And so the links will need to be updated from lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning. The folks that might be most impacted by this might be faculty. So want to go through this slowly for you. If you have any course links that might be located in a curriculum, on a site, in any documents, you need to look at those links and see if it has this parameter at the end. In your case, it would say !org equals miami.edu. If it has this parameter at the end of the course or the video or your playlist, those links will automatically redirect to the corresponding course or playlist in LinkedIn Learning. However, Lynda as a platform will sunset and no longer exist after March 31st of 2020. So even though the link, this parameter is here and the course is automatically redirect, the links must still be updated with the new URL from LinkedIn Learning, because after March 31st, the links will no longer redirect. Bear in mind that the course names are exactly the same between Lynda and LinkedIn Learning. So when you're in LinkedIn Learning, if you're looking for a course, just look for the same name. Nothing has changed. Just the URLs will change. Course links or video links that do not have the parameter I just mentioned, meaning org equals miami.edu, will redirect to the corresponding Lynda course as expected. However, you won't be able to access it because you've migrated. So what will happen is you'll simply click sign in, you'll authenticate, and once authenticate through your Miami single sign-on, we will redirect you to LinkedIn Learning. So no worries, you will always be redirected to LinkedIn Learning eventually, but I just wanted to walk you through that experience so you are aware and have a sense of what's to come. What happens to learners' data and usage history? When you migrate over from Lynda to LinkedIn Learning and activate your account, all of your data will migrate over. So you must activate your account, however, by March 20, by the end of March, like I mentioned, you must activate your account because the platform will no longer exist. Playlists. After the migration, playlists will be transferred to LinkedIn Learning as collections. So we will no longer refer to playlists as collections in LinkedIn Learning. They'll be called, playlists will be called collections in LinkedIn Learning. If you have any playlist that's in your account, you will find them under collections, and I'll show you in a few minutes exactly what that looks like. So just wanted to point that out for you. So for the upgrade, exactly what should you expect? On the day of the upgrade, your lynda.com will be down for the entire day, and your upgrade date is June 20th. So on June 20th, your upgrade, the lynda.com site will be down. The following day, on June 21st, is when you will have access to the new platform, LinkedIn Learning. Access. So on the following day, after the migration, you will receive either an email notification, or if you were to log into lynda.com, you will see a notification banner. Both will be indicating to you that lynda.com has been successfully upgraded to LinkedIn Learning. Now what I'm going to do is walk you through what it looks like if you're going to connect or not connect to your LinkedIn profile. And I'm just having a little bit problem here with my mic. 1 second.
Let's give Elma a little moment there. Thank you so much for holding. And we will continue.
Sorry, my apologies. Yes, I had a little problem there with my headset. Sorry about that.
You.
Apologies. Thank you. All right, so learners that choose to connect to their LinkedIn profile, what will that experience look like? First, after selecting, as I mentioned, just to go back, and you will receive this activation email or banner. Once you select one of those options through one of those entry points, you will then be taken to your University of Miami. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong screen here. Minor problem. Sorry. There you go. You will be taken to the University of Miami authentication page, and you will enter your university credentials. And as you can see, there's actually a two-phase process to the authentication process. So you will enter your credentials here, and then there will be an additional screen where you'll need to provide additional added security authentication information. And so as you can see on the screen here, there are 3 different options to your authentication process. So after you complete that, your next screen is where you'll be prompted as to whether or not you want to connect to your LinkedIn account or not. And again, this is totally optional, not required. If you choose to connect, you will then be prompted to log in with your LinkedIn profile credentials. And that's typically your personal email and password, however you access your LinkedIn account currently. If you don't have one, not a member, you'll see the option here to join now. And I mentioned earlier, you just simply need to provide certain basic information. Once you do that, we'll ask for confirmation and consent to make the connection between both accounts. And we will then prompt you for some optional information where you can add additional skills that you'd like to learn or what your business role or title might be. Where this might be most relevant might be, for example, a student who may, for example, in their LinkedIn profile, maybe are currently reflecting their internship and have certain basic skills, but are interested in learning additional skills, or maybe a different business title. You can provide the additional skills that you'd like to learn at this point. After that's done, then we essentially open up your homepage, and you can tell that you're in your homepage and your account is being configured, and you'll see your University of Miami logo here in the menu bar. We will start to populate your homepage based on the information that we're pulling from your LinkedIn profile, being your name, your business role, and certain key skills. Simultaneously, we will also be migrating over your usage history behind the scenes. So there are 2 things happening simultaneously. We're migrating over your actual usage history, and then we're also populating your homepage. So that's the experience if you're connecting. If you're not connecting to your LinkedIn profile, similarly, you will click on the activation link, which will take you here to authenticate through the University of Miami's authentication screens. You will then choose the option that says continue without connecting to my LinkedIn account. And once you do that, the next screen that you'll come to is where we prompt you for your job title. If you want to provide that, again, not required, but it's helpful in personalizing your homepage. And then you'll also indicate to us what skills it is that you'd like to learn. We strongly recommend that you enter some skills there, especially if you're not connecting, so that, again, we can provide you with as much personalization as we can. And once you do that, just like before, we will then personalize your homepage and simultaneously also migrate over your usage history. After you have activated your account and you're looking to re-enter LinkedIn Learning at a later point or the following day, there are a few entry points that you can use. You can go straight to the this link, which will be the easiest route, I think, which will be your University of Miami learning portal page, and this will take you into LinkedIn Learning. Or if you can't remember the URL or where to go, you can simply go directly to linkedin.com/learning, and from here you will enter your organization and then of course be rerouted where you enter your single sign-on credentials. So those are two of the entry points that you can use easily to re-enter after you've activated your account. So at this point, we're going to switch and do a quick demo. And so I can showcase some of the content that is, or the new interface and layout of LinkedIn Learning. And if you could just give me a few seconds, I just need to switch my screen. Let's see if I...
While Elma switches the screen, I just wanted to let you know that this presentation will be available to you in ULearn in a few days. Thank you. Thank you, Elma.
You're welcome. I want to see if you're able to see my screen now. Okay. Okay. So as you can see here, immediately, this is the new, once you log in and once you've, your page has been personalized, this is what your new home page will look like. And immediately you can probably tell there are some new key features. So for example, this symbol indicates that this is an audiobook. So we now have audiobooks in LinkedIn Learning. We also now allow you to also turn off the video portion of a course if you're only interested in listening to it. Maybe you're trying to use it a podcast or listen while you're driving. You can certainly do that. That's one of the new features in the course itself. But as it relates to content, we now have audiobooks. So as I'm scrolling through here and you're looking at my tiles, you'll see that everything's categorized based on relevancy. So for example, what's trending at LinkedIn? Trending for business development specialists, because based on some of the keywords that are in my profile on LinkedIn, based on some of the courses that I've watched, you can see because I watched a particular course, courses are now being recommended to me that are similar and might be relevant to what I'm interested in. What's trending on LinkedIn Learning in general. And if you keep scrolling, you'll also see content that can be pushed by your organization. Also, because I'm interested in digital marketing, this is information that's probably being picked up in my profile based on my job, my role and responsibilities. Because I'm interested in communication, that's probably one of the skills that is being pulled from my LinkedIn profile. Again, it can tell that. So again, because I'm interested in e-learning, and so now you're seeing trending in the internet industry, part of my role being in the software industry, what's trending in e-learning, and so on. So you can easily see here that all the content that is on my homepage is totally relevant to my role, to the skills I want to learn, to the skills I currently have, and also to the industry to which I'm related, which is e-learning. So with LinkedIn Learning, more personalization, making your learning more relevant and more in line with what your needs are. You can see also at the top of your screen here that if I wanted to, I can simply also add additional skills that I'd like to follow and content that I'd like to get for that. So you can easily access your skills here. When you click on the In Progress menu, it takes you to some additional menu options. In progress are all the courses that I'm currently watching. One of the new things that you'll notice is that in Linda, we combined in progress and courses that you've completed together. In LinkedIn Learning, we've separated them. Now you can see all the courses that you're currently watching, and you can also see courses that you've completed. Learning history is all the courses you've completed. You can also now save courses. So if you come across a course that you'd like to watch later, you can simply save it and go back and see it, watch it later. After the migration, as I mentioned, playlists will all migrate over as collections. When you log into your account and go to your collections menu, this is where you're going to find all of the playlists that you have will now be located under collections, and they're still shareable. So you'll be able to share those collections. Under in progress, if you look next to a course, you'll see a drop-down menu called More. One of the features I want to point out is transfer activity. If you connect your LinkedIn Learning account to your LinkedIn profile at the university, and a good example I'm going to use now is a student, say for example, and as a student, you graduate from the university and you're now employed at an organization that also use LinkedIn Learning. If at that organization you connect to your LinkedIn profile, what you'll see is when you log in, you'll see all of the courses that were in progress that you watched while you were at the university. If you click the transfer activity button, it will transfer all of the activity related to that course into your new organization's account. So this is a really great feature for a lot of students who are typically going to transition at some point from the university into a different community and organization. But again, this feature only works if you are connected to your LinkedIn profile. So your usage essentially follows you from organization to organization. Likewise, if you leave the university and decide to subscribe to LinkedIn Learning on your own, your usage will also follow you in that case. I just wanted to point that feature out. As it relates to collections, you can also share your collections. So I just wanted to quickly point that out. So let's go back to your home page quickly before it's time for Q&A. To get back to your home page, you're simply going to click on the LinkedIn Learning icon. And let's go ahead and simply jump into one of our courses here. Immediately, sorry. All right, so we're all familiar with the high quality content, the sound, high definition sound with Linda. Same high quality as I mentioned. However, if you notice as you're looking at the layout of this course, you'll notice that there are some key changes. First, you'll notice that before, when you were in Linda, the transcripts were located below the video. Now everything that you need is to the right of your video, which allows you to navigate through your transcript without having to scroll down or pop the video out. So as you're watching your video, you can simply do perform various functions without having to pause or anything like that. Also, if you click on Overview, this is where you'll start to see some of that insight that we're getting because we're connected to LinkedIn. So for example, as I scroll down I can immediately see information on the author, but I can also see who else has watched this course, like what were their roles. I can't see necessarily people's name or anything like that because of privacy, but what we can see is roles. Oh, so consultants, customer service specialists, these are the type of folks that have been watching this course. Also, what organization they belong to. Some of this will help in determining how relevant this course might be for you based on others who have watched it. You can also see the number of people that have liked these courses. You can also like the course yourself if you would like to. So you'll see that there's a lot more social interaction with the course. Also, the Q&A feature I just mentioned. As you're watching this course, you might decide that you want to ask questions. Here is Dave Crenshaw, who's the actual author. He's actually responding to questions right here within the course. As I mentioned, the courses have alerts that alerts the author, so they'll jump in, collaborate, answer questions, or people may just simply ask each other questions. Sometimes it's not even relevant to the course, maybe something else. But again, a lot of social interaction. Transcripts that you're familiar with is still there, exercise files, note-taking, and bookmarking. So all those features are still there, just that now the interface is a lot more intuitive. You can still search as you were able before, and you can still search by browsing through the library using the different topics here. So that's a sneak peek into LinkedIn Learning as the product itself. Very intuitive interface, a lot more simpler and cleaner, but yet I would say a lot more powerful. So at this point, let me switch back to our presentation itself. So just a few more slides to wrap up. I just quickly wanted to share with you some really key common case ways in which you can use LinkedIn Learning, similar to how you could in Lynda. So if there's anyone on the call or in the webinar who may not have been familiar with Lynda and exactly how to leverage the content, here are some key ways. If you're a staff, obviously for professional development, learning new skills, also, make it a part of the onboarding process on your team, possibly. For faculty, great way to leverage our content in your classroom, incorporate it into your curriculum, which is very common ways in which most faculty will use our content. Also for your own professional development, to learn new tips, new techniques. We have a lot of content around faculty professional development. And for students, great way to learn new skills that you may need as you're transitioning through the university, also to supplement what you're possibly learning in the classroom. So some key common case ways in which you can leverage our content. Additionally, as a reminder, if you're not aware, that through LinkedIn Learning, you're actually able to take certification prep courses for free. Often a lot of these courses cost quite a bit of money, and sometimes hundreds to thousands of dollars. These are all available in LinkedIn Learning for free if you need your certifications or need to stay up on your PDU or CEU credits. So finally, some additional resources to help you. If you're looking to incorporate this maybe in your team or in some newsletters and you're looking for logos or case studies or templates, you can find these all on our Customer Success Center. Additionally, we have what we call a LinkedIn Learning blog. Great place to find articles. If you're interested in learning what are the new skills for 2019, you can find articles and links to courses so you can learn those skills. Also, this is where you'll find all the new courses that are released on a weekly basis, and we're constantly updating what are the skills, what are organizations looking for, and articles that are really related, definitely relevant to staff, student, and also faculty. And at that point, that is a sneak peek into LinkedIn Learning and the upgrade and what to expect. I will at some point be visiting, and we'll definitely have sessions where we can dive in even further. But we just wanted to make sure that you were familiar with the login process, the upgrade, and what's involved, and be prepared for June 20th. At this point, I'll see if there are any questions.
Yes, so let me thank you so much for that great sneak peek of LinkedIn Learning, Elma. And before we move on, let's take a few minutes. If you have any questions, this is the time that you can type them into your chat box, and Elma will be available to answer them. So let's take a few seconds. I see a couple of people are already typing in. I will read them out, and Elma will be able to answer them. Yolanda asks if you can take courses offline, Elma.
Absolutely, yes. Just as with Lynda, you're able to download your courses and view them offline and watch on any of your mobile device or on your, mobile device.
Okay, great, thank you. We will again continue to wait as they are typing. And again, I'll repeat that this will be available in a few days on ULearn, and it'll also be available on our linked learning information page that we will give you that URL in a little bit. Okay, we have, Yolanda says she's sorry, but if she missed this, but if the profile is not connected to LinkedIn, will the completions appear on the profile?
Yes. So just like in Lynda, when you complete a course, you will be given a certificate of completion that you can then choose to post on your LinkedIn profile. That also is an optional feature. We do not automatically post your certificates of completion to your LinkedIn profile. You will simply be able to go into the course history and post that to your LinkedIn profile. But yes, that has nothing to, is not impacting whether or not you connect or not connect. So you will definitely be able to do that, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions? We'll wait a few seconds. If you don't have any, you can just show me a thumbs up or a smiley face. You're welcome. Great. We're looking
Mhm.
forward to this.